If you're doing a sport, likely you're going to want to avoid smoking the cannabis product. Again, there hasn't been a lot of effect demonstrated by the smoking process, but just it's likely not good to smoke anything if you're going to, for example, going to go running or going to do any specific sport that requires significant cardiovascular output.
Mm.
So maybe use a vaporizer or use an edible. And if you use cannabis already, then you likely know where your levels lie. But if you don't and you're getting used to it, you know, the saying start low and go slow is very pertinent because you definitely want to test yourself, especially when you're uh, becoming more tired and your capacities are maybe a little bit lessened after uh, I keep using running as an example because that's the one I have the most sort of association with. But any sort of sport, right? Even if you're doing jujitsu, I know a lot of people that do jujitsu. They smoke and go do jujitsu, and I'm not at that point yet. Maybe they're supremely confident in their abilities, and that helps them somehow. But to myself, I feel like, oh man, I'd be a little bit panicky if I have a 200-pound guy on top of me and I'm like stoned. but but to each his own. I think, and regardless, the best thing to do is if you're an athlete to use a vaporizer. If you enjoy, because there's people say, okay, an edible that takes a lot of time to have an effect, and there's other ways like oils and stuff, but those have the same properties as generally edibles. Now, I had a friend that couldn't run if she didn't get high or smoke cannabis, as she said it became too boring. So if that's for you, by all means, more power to you. But I'd recommend a lot of people that would like to use cannabis and their athletes to, you know, use cannabis after the fact. Do the sport, do the exercise or training, and then if you want to use cannabis, use it after the fact. Um, that way you can, you know, get the most of that exercise training because, there is that aspect of in certain people, it seems to, reduce a little bit their peak work output. So if you want to do maximal training, you likely would want to avoid using cannabis. And if you want to have maximal strength, well, um, it may just affect your mind, but your mind is a very powerful part of sport. So